Well, sorry. No, let me start over. We did record last week, except that it didn't record my part, so it's an entirely one-sided conversation, which pissed me
Or
off.
is this a Fight Club situation and you're not real?
Oh fuck. Well, that's gonna keep me up tonight. Anyway, so now we're what episode are we on now?
Season 3, episode 6, chapter 22. So this is the 22nd episode. If this was like an old-fashioned TV show, like on the CW,
mm-hmm.
this whole thing we've seen so far would have been one season.
That's true. Actually, when you say chapter 22, is that including Book of Boba Fett episodes?
Those are like when they did the Crisis crossover. Yeah.
I feel like there should have been chapters of this, but yep. Okay, so get that queued up on your Disney Plus or whatever the hell you're watching it on. Assuming you're watching it and not just wanting
Flex
to
server.
hang out with us
Yeah.
for no other reason. And now I'm gonna count it down to hit play on your remote or whatever the fuck when I say play. But
Yeah.
not when I said play then, and not when I said it again just now. Three,
Who's on first?
two, one, play. The
All
Mandalorian's
right,
gasping. It's a
we are
recap.
watching the recap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they haven't done recaps on all of these. But I guess I should have
No,
recapped our previous episode that no one heard while we're watching the recap here.
I kind of don't like the recaps because, like, in a lot of genre shows like this, what they choose to put in the recap sometimes spoils what you're going to see in the show,
Oh,
you know.
entirely. It's such a
Too
giveaway
heavy-handed.
to, yeah, such heavy foreshadowing. I mean, it doesn't even count as foreshadowing. They're just telling you, hey, this is relevant now. Wonder why that might be.
Yep. So they got to go find the old fleet from last season with the wrestler and the other guy. The wrestler that's Snoop Dogg's niece.
You're referencing stuff I
You know that
have
part?
no idea what you're talking about.
No. Yeah,
Snoop
yeah.
Dogg's
The one of
niece?
the Mandalorian lady that's not Bo-Katan.
Okay.
She's a wrestler,
So you're
and
saying
she's related to Snoop
she's a
Dogg.
nepo niece, and that's why she's in here.
I don't know. She's very pretty, and she does a good job on the show. I don't complain about that nepotism.
Okay, all right. Then what's her name, Mark? What's her name?
Um, I don't know.
This recap's going on
I
forever.
don't learn women's names. Come on. What are they, people?
Oh no. It's a good thing no one's listening to this yet, but they will when it's uploaded. Then
Yeah, the
goodbye.
armorer is a famous lady, Emily Swallow, right?
I know. Yeah. Yep, that's her name.
Yeah, I like her.
She's cool. Um, these are the
So
usual.
basically
These are
now
the usual heads.
they
Hmm.
want to go find the other Mandalorians because that's what
Star
Armorer
Wars.
said to do.
Yeah, they're clearly gonna do that. They've quick recap of last week's episode. I guess they got off of Jurassic World and went back to the planet they came from. Now we're all caught up.
Yeah,
Here's a cool ship. They got real close to the camera. Uh,
that's what
I
Star Wars
don't.
does.
I don't know if we've seen that ship before. I don't feel like I've seen this ship before, but maybe it's been in cartoons.
It's designed like the Mon Calamari cruisers we've seen because
Yeah, it's kind of
these two,
organically shaped.
these well these squid face
They're from the
people
same planet.
are from the same planet as the
Ahaha!
fish face people.
You're right. The planet's called Mon Calamari, isn't it? I don't remember. I
Yeah,
actually
Mon
don't remember
Cala.
that. Mon Cal. That's right.
Yeah, they have two dominant species who during the Clone Wars were on separate sides of the Clone War, even though the same planet.
Oh, did not know
These
that part.
tentacle people were with the Separatists, and the fish head people stayed with the Republic. Oh, the
Mm,
Akbars.
do you say Allah
Apparently,
Allah
this
Akbar?
lady, yeah, yes, Aloha Snack Bar. That Captain squid face lady is also apparently someone famous. I forgot who. I saw her on YouTube.
Oh, the name? Or,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess she might actually
semi-prominent
be in the
actress.
costume as well.
Yeah.
Like, I like all the design work going on here, even though it's kind of weird the captain has a water tank tube and, like, no one else gets anything.
Yeah, sci-fi is explored like what if a water-breathing species traveled through space? Like all that water, that's a lot of extra mass to propel around, depending on what your method
It's,
of propulsion
it's
is.
true, but I'm
So we
like, their
thought it was
species needs
Imperials.
something like that.
Yeah.
No, we never thought
But
it
they
was
seem to be
Imperials. We already
amphibious.
knew that these guys have an Imperial ship, and we've been clued in already that they're doing mercenary work.
Yep.
We knew
Yeah,
this.
because it was spoiled in the previously.
Axe Wolves has one of the kind of
So
bad
that
Star
girl on
Wars
the
names.
left, she's a wrestler and Snoop Dogg relative.
Okay. Didn't know she was
And
either of
yet
those
Snoop
things.
Dogg
That's
doesn't
cool.
show up in this episode. Everyone else does.
Oh man, I am expecting Snoop Dogg to show up at any moment at this rate.
No, it'll that will be in the Acolyte series where he plays Yoda's grandfather. Well, because it's set during the High Republic, of course.
The High Republic, baby.
Yeah, it's a play on
I
words.
get it. Picking up what you're putting down. So,
So,
the
did
voice acting for these two characters really annoys me. They're just so plain human. Like that was not a thing
yeah.
in the original Star Wars where you would have this crazy looking alien and they'd just be like, "Oh, hello, I talk like a normal person, sort of like from jolly old London town."
Well, because most of it was shot with British actors.
Well, sure, but they don't try to sound like weird at all, other than sounding
So that
British. Oh,
fish
super.
guy,
Which one? Which
we've
fish
seen
guy?
him before. The
The
Akbar
Mon
style
Calamari.
fish guy.
Okay.
He was one of the possible bounties in the very first episode where they talked about a kidnapped
Um,
royal.
oh,
So
interesting.
this is all the way back to the first episode of Mando.
I was actually
I don't like
gonna
this.
mention the very first episode of the first season of The Mandalorian because that's how long they've been doing the aliens with the totally non-fitting normal human voice thing.
Yeah, Horatio Sands, the alien.
Yeah, yeah. It annoyed me then. Still annoys me. Guns
Yeah, do
for
a little bit of
hire.
alien voice. Come on.
I know. Like, how do they not? It's so weird.
God, I love those spaceships.
They're cool, and we're going to see a bunch more of them.
Yep, yep.
Spoilers.
So people freaked out when this was in the trailer because they thought this was a domed city from Mandalore, but it's a domed city on a different planet.
What do you mean a domed city from Mandalore? What's that?
So
I like
Mandalore
your
had a bunch of
Thrustmaster
big
setting.
domed cities that were blown up by the Empire.
Oh, so just on Mandalore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so people thought we'd be seeing a restored part of Mandalore in this season or a flashback.
Oh.
But nope,
Okay.
fake out, different dome planet.
Okay. They don't own the. They don't have a chokehold on domes. Other people can have
No, no, because
domes.
we're going to planet Epcot Center now.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to make a Space Mountain reference in a few minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Also, he brought the R5 droid that tattled on him to the New Republic guy with him still.
Yep, it's
He could
just
have left it with
hanging
his
around in the
cruiser.
background now, just in case
Yeah,
the writers need it to do something again. Don't worry
yeah.
about it. Don't think about it. It's just there in case.
Well, so that droid purposely faked blowing its motivator because it had a conversation with R2 and R2. So it sabotaged himself so they would sell R2 so R2 could go deliver the message.
God,
He's,
I hate
yeah,
knowing that. Okay. And what the
that was a
fuck is
comic
with
book
this?
story.
What is up with this ship being remote controlled now? Just out of the
That's
blue?
very
What the
powerful
fuck is that?
technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
incredibly powerful.
Anyone who
It
flies
seems
in, they
like
can
it
just
shouldn't
control the ship.
exist.
That's like a major defensive weapon.
Well, this is interesting. I've never seen droids show up to meet
Well, they're
people who've
black
landed on a
droids, so they're
planet.
suspicious.
I
Yeah, they're
know,
droid
yeah, we
racist.
do find out it's because he says they're Imperial droids. And I'm like, that's just a
We've
fucking
seen black Imperial
R2
droids before.
astromech.
Yeah.
If you put black paint on a droid, it's an Imperial droid now? I don't
Well, no,
understand
the
how he knows
Imperials
they're
preferred
Imperial.
all their stuff to look the same, so they would paint all their droids,
So no one's ever
except when
painted
they
a droid
didn't.
black, except for an Imperial.
And Goths. And now they're in the monorail to Epcot Center.
That's
Like,
right.
this has to be on purpose, right?
I mean, it's super Disney.
Disney owns
It
them.
has to be.
Yeah.
They have to be aware of what this looks like.
Now they're going to remind you that chain codes exist because we
Yeah,
saw them
hey,
last season,
look at these things. They're
and we're
they're a
going to
thing
need them
everyone
later.
has. Sure, why not? Don't look at
Um,
Baby Yoda's. Don't worry about it. He's a
so
minor.
when you that those were introduced last season, and that same year in episodes of the Bad Batch, they showed the literal rollout of giving everyone these chain codes. That's an Imperial thing.
Oh, oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Wait. What
it's
time
like
period
a
does
real
the Bad Batch take place during? Because I don't know what that means for when it
literally
happened.
right after Order 66.
Oh, okay. That's pretty old.
So like the first like year of the Empire. All the timelines of all the shows are getting confusing, even for me, and I try to stay on top of it.
Yeah. I like how they're just talking
Like,
casually about maybe blasting their fucking way out of here in the car that they were talking to a minute earlier. It's like, it's probably not listening anymore, right?
did you notice they're playing flute music? Who are we about to see?
Uh,
Famous
Ron
flute
Burgundy.
player. No, Lizzo's famous for playing the flute. Conservatives got mad at her about it for some reason.
That's true. She made flutes woke. Hmm. There's so much to look at here, which I like. It's very cool. There's a lot going on. But Jack Black being cast is interesting.
This is a big week for him because this is also the Mario premiere week.
Oh, it's a huge week for him. Yeah, he's a busy, busy man. I like Lizzo in this role, even I like she's not doing a
She's
whole lot.
not the best at acting, but she's
No,
doing a decent job.
she is doing a decent job. Jack Black is pretty good at acting, but he only does the one kind of thing.
He's doing British Jack Black this time.
Yeah, yeah. Slightly fancy Jack Black, which means he's slightly British.
Up and now Grogu's going to be occupied for the rest of the episode,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and Din immediately trusts Lizzo to take care of him.
Sure. Well, I
I
mean,
guess he probably knows
kid,
that
kid jumped over
Baby
there.
Yoda could defend himself. Yeah.
Do you wish you were Grogu right now?
No, I'm not that into Lizzo. She's all right, but
Oh, okay.
not my style. Yeah.
All right. I do not like
It
her
is
big
it is in
hologram
the
display.
sphere. Yeah. Yeah, especially when it starts following her around later.
Yeah, pretty miraculous technology.
It's like crazy to think like how much did that cost in special effects? I know it's CG, but
Yeah.
would the story have been hurt if they didn't spend whatever amount of money to do that?
Nope. It's an interesting idea. I applaud the idea, but I don't think it fits the universe.
So, all right, bear with me. This will be weird. This episode, the way it's lit and produced,
What do you mean
several
on a
times the
soundstage?
ground doesn't look right to me. It doesn't look Star Warsy enough.
Because they're walking on a green mat the whole time.
No, but that's one of them. And then later, when they're in the field of spaceships, it looks like they just parked on a soccer field. Like it didn't look as cinematic as we've seen other outdoor scenes
Right. Yeah, it doesn't look realistic. It looks
because they spent all the money on
manicured.
Lizzo's hologram.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. I mean, Star Wars holograms typically have a pretty definite source for the projection, and this one is
It's probably
just
attached to her
there.
back. Like if you, yeah.
Yeah, but you can also usually actually always see where it's being projected from, and not this one. This one's just there.
What if it's
Actually,
like
maybe it's
it's
not
in
a
her butt?
hologram. Maybe it's a ghost of an alien, a force
No, no,
ghost.
the projector's in her butt. I decided.
Well, then you'd see like the light shooting out of it, just like from a real
Also,
butt.
holograms in Star Wars like flicker a lot more and are
Oh
generally
yeah.
not that colorful.
Yep, they're not that
Just
distinct. I
she
mean,
has
you can
special
kind of see
holograms.
hologram lines. They've made an attempt, but the designer who just wanted it to be like this clearly overrode any actual
I mean,
consistency
like we
decisions.
usually see cheapo, either military grade or what regular people can afford, but like this is rich lady holograms.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe. I mean, the people we follow in Star Wars tend to be either really powerful military or like royalty or the emperor, which is kind of a royalty
Now
of his own
for the
making.
third baffling cameo. Like I like him,
I
but
was
like
I was taken aback at this point. I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, what the fuck?"
I was waiting for more. I'm like, if they got like three of these already,
I know it's
like
crazy. What kind of droid is this? I've never seen this
the,
weird spider thing before, and the whole
there's
thing
lots of
looks like
kinds
a
of
video
droids.
game. And they were saying battle droids earlier. That's not a fucking battle droid. In fact, we only see
Oh, they'll
one
show
battle
them
droid
though.
in these shots, and that one is right there. That's a battle droid.
Yep,
That's not a
that's the
battle
old
droid.
style.
I'm pretty sure that's not a battle droid. It's a pretty shit
It
ass
is the
design for a
hibachi
droid,
droid.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Why not turn them all off? In fact, why cause any of them to malfunction at all? Hmm, curious. Curious. Not entirely sure why any of this happened, even after finding out why it happened.
Yeah, his motive, we'll learn later, is not clear, other than like
Hmm.
he doesn't like how this place is being run, so
Mm-hmm.
he'll make droids
Old
be
man
bad.
yells at clouds, I guess.
Now, did they imply that anyone was killed, or is just like the general ruckus we saw in those clips?
Uh, General Ruckus. The worst thing that
Like they
happened
just
was they said assault happened, which could mean a wide number of things, but hopefully just means that I don't know, the hibachi grill droid hit someone with a knife.
yeah, or just really messed up the calamari
Now, why is Mando like Ugnaughts? He knows what
because
Ugnaughts
he's
are.
friends with one or was friends with one.
Is that like not a cool thing to call Ugnaughts then? It's like why are you calling them
No,
Ugnaughts?
people find them difficult to work with.
Yeah, but that's how he
Is
reacted. Like, oh no, Ugnaughts.
yeah.
Not like, oh yeah, I like Ugnaughts.
Well, it took him a while to get to deal with his old friend from season one.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah, I forgot Jack Black's character's name is pretty stupid. I wonder what his first name
Yes,
is. I'm sure it makes it even stupider.
it belongs in that list that I
Uh,
posted.
yeah, silly Star Wars names.
Although there's that predictive name that there was Elan Sleazebago. That's pretty close to our friend Elon.
On Sleeves Mesco.
Yeah.
Uh, I like the design work going on with these Ugnaughts.
They made the faces different, although
They
one of them looked a lot like the Nick Nolte one.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I knew even from like the first season what they did with that Ugnaught character that they
Now
were
my
making some
family has
Ugnaught
very
changes.
strong. My family has very strong jowls that sag on my father's side. Like I might end up looking like this later.
Well, he's a handsome fella. Don't worry about it. Uh, I will say, yeah, there's not a lot of resemblance between modern Ugnaughts and the like Cloud City Ugnaughts. Like you
Yeah,
don't
I
hear
mean
them
that was
screech or ever, and none of them really look like that. And I appreciate they're kind of trying to give them sort of a more nuanced kind of culture, but it is weird that there is so little connection to what we've seen and heard before.
they're basically extras in Cloud City, just like human
Yeah,
decoration
totally.
with the actors.
The actors were human. That's right. The characters are not humans. They're
Yeah.
Ugnaughts. Monorail. Monorail.
In a lot of the Star Wars parts of the Star Wars that we see in live action, I know the reasons why, but like it's heavily human. Like there were almost no
Oh, yeah.
aliens in Andor.
I know. I hated it. Not even in robots.
Yeah, and I didn't like that robot from Andor. I'm sorry. People liked it,
I
but I didn't like the design. I didn't like its voice.
I
It
didn't
caused
like
trouble.
its voice. I think the I mean Andor did that a bit with like computer slash droid having voices,
Yeah.
and I think that's pretty bad precedent. I mean, maybe it has precedents
It's
before
one of the
that, but
few
it's
flaws
stupid.
of that show.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
The show
basically the
didn't have a
only
lot of
major flaw
issues.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of fucking battle droids.
They got the same voice actor too.
Very nice.
Now, now this part here, the way he's doing it, this is like those Boston Dynamics videos,
Yeah.
right? That's what
Yeah.
they're going for.
100%. Probably be better if they weren't trying to reference something from the real world, but they've kind of done it a bunch in this episode. I mean, not just this
Um,
episode. They just kind of
I
do
don't know
it more and more
if
as
it
the
was
show goes on.
earlier in a later scene, Jack Black starts singing lines from a real show tune.
Yep, it was when we first met him. He was
Yeah.
singing something. Oh, good thing
Yeah.
he kicked three of them, and one of them turned out to be, I guess, what they were looking for.
Yeah. That is the droids they're looking for.
That's it. That was
Ah.
a great approach. Oh, I get it. It's a reference
No
from
one said
Star
that the whole
Wars.
time. Yeah. See, that's the trouble with these characters. They haven't seen Star Wars.
That's true. I wish they had. They'd be like, holy shit. How the fuck is this filmed?
Well, like this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Like one of Leia's friends like sells like the story, and they produce a TV show in universe of like a third hand story of what happened in Star Wars, like a classic unreliable narrator thing.
Nice.
That'd be good. I made that
Oh,
up. That isn't a thing.
that droid's got leap.
Good thing they turned the Christopher Lloyd turned off their very powerful arm cannons.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I assume there was probably a physical dismantling of the blasters
Yeah.
built into their arms, which would make sense.
It's kind of fun having like Clone Wars droids mixed in with, you know, classic trilogy droids. The first time I remember seeing it done was
That's the sound of the
in the Rogue
balloons.
Leader GameCube game when you went to Geonosis
Ah, yeah, yeah.
and somebody reactivated a bunch of old battle droids. That was the Rogue Squadron game where you had to get out of your ship sometimes, which I
Yeah.
hated. Oh, they have the holographic crime scene tape just like in Mass
So,
Effect.
is this spark pad something you know about too? Or is this something
No,
they're
but it
making
seems
up?
to be a business card or or is it
No,
matchsticks? It's supposed to be like a
it's
matchbook, right?
yeah, it's like a matchbook in a film noir detective story. But
But droids don't smoke.
no, so it's a spark pad. I think it's like from Futurama when the droids, or sorry, the
That's
robots are
so that's what it
hooked on
felt in this whole.
electricity like a drug.
That's what I thought when we get to this bar they're going to.
You're a loose cannon, Mando. I want your gun and your badge.
So this the way this is the story, the level of the story and the way it's paced, this is something that could have been an episode of the Clone Wars. Like that's the type of storytelling that cartoon did. That this whole
Mm.
episode feels cartoon to me.
And some of it looks cartoon to me.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of fun droids in here. I recognize these faces.
Yep.
There's like a early
I like that
sand
the
colored droid I
by
saw
law
earlier.
all the C3POs have to be different colors, so we don't think it's
Right.
the one that Anakin built
Yeah.
or reassembled. People were kind of like, "Oh, why did Anakin program C3PO not to be able to translate Sith?" He didn't like program him from scratch.
Translate Sith. What
He
the
it's
fuck are
like he
you
built a
talking about?
PC from junk. I'm talking about the Last Jedi
Why
or
would he?
the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
Like Anakin didn't like program C3PO. He cobbled together parts like he went to Goodwill and bought PC parts. That's what he did.
How is Mando not the bad guy here? He's such an asshole.
Like yeah, I get it. Like his family was killed by droids, but that led him to be him becoming a
Not by
foundling.
fucking protocol droids.
Yeah.
All droids are the same.
And this kind of undoes like he decided droids were okay after he befriended the IG
I
droid
know.
and then
In fact, he thought they were
R5.
so okay, he tried to bring one back to life. And then he's like, nope, I'm
Yeah.
over it. Over it now. All droids are
So
bad. Hashtag all
I thought that
droids.
was going to be a plot point. They're here in like Droid Central. He's going to get one of those chips he needs, right?
Nope.
No.
No, that's all gone. That's dead and buried. That's the past. Forget about it. Don't worry about it, Mark.
That would have made
The
sense.
writers
If he
didn't worry
couldn't get
about
it
it.
from Pelly, this would be the other best place to get it.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Ugh.
You would think so
That,
if you
that
were
that whole scene was just
actually trying to make something
for
make
nothing.
sense. That looks like a fucking Terminator droid back there with the red eyes. Creepy motherfucker.
So
These
for
humans will
learn a
not
second,
replace us. We
droids
like being
drink
slaves to
oil.
humans.
Droids drink oil that can also has code in it. I like sci-fi, but that's just bullshit to me.
it's, it's pretty bullshit, and the way we get there is yet more bullshit.
And Christopher Lloyd, spoilers, put his chain code on the nano
That's
droids he
why I'm
bought.
saying it's even more bullshit. It makes absolutely no sense.
And it's Nepenthe, which is
Nepenthe.
a mythology reference. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when C3PO was in Luke's home on Tatooine going like, oh, I wish we had some fucking Nepenthe, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. It's good shit. So it's
It is
Spicer is
nice that
also a
in
scanner.
stuff you can see droids do things quickly. Because, like, in 1970s live action, the droids had to be slow because, yeah.
Yeah, all droids were
Droid
slow
Morg.
and cumbersome. I mean, they could use computers really well.
Droid Morg. Droid Morg. Droid Morg.
Yeah, we're going
Why?
to siphon something that looks like blood out of this battle droid that has no visible damage. Cool.
Apparently, that droid doctor is a famous comedian, semi-famous comedian. I don't
Huh?
know her.
It doesn't have a voice. What are you talking about? Oh, you
No,
mean the
the
human?
person.
You said the
Yeah,
droid doctor. I thought you were talking about like
the
that
doctor of
the
droids.
white torture droid skin, which actually I think that's a good design on that droid.
And now we're gonna have to be reminded that he still has the dark saber because that's gonna
Well,
come
why
up
would we?
abruptly and weirdly
How
later.
could we forget that he had the dark saber?
I did almost buy one at Walmart the other day.
Oh, I have not looked up what them toy versions of the dark saber looks like.
So
I can't imagine
the
something
mid
good. So,
no the mid range one, the mid range toy one is does look pretty good. It's not as good as like the Force Effects
you
ones,
should have
but it looks
heard my sigh when they said nano droids. Oh
yeah.
boy,
Uh,
here we
Nanodroids are
go.
not a new thing. It came up in the Clone Wars cartoon.
You can't see me making this jerk off gesture, but it's there.
Now I can imagine it.
Fucking
I have
nano
an artist rendering
droids.
here.
Come on. Oh, this
Signed
nano droid
nanodroids.
has a shipping manifest log written on it in painstaking detail for some reason. Doesn't really make sense that they would print this onto every nano droid that's inside this oil, which is
John
somehow
Favreau wrote this
affecting the
episode.
droid brains.
I'm getting tired of the word droid.
Wow, can't believe he
Come on,
put
you
his
dumb
name onto
Scooby
all
Doos.
of
It's this guy.
these. He put his name on all the nanobots. Crazy.
Well, we should have followed the Law and Order rule. One of the more famous guest stars is the murderer.
Yeah, it's 100%. That's what it is. It's kind of the level of writing for this episode as well, as far as this little buddy cop part goes.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's better Star Wars buddy cop pairings to be made, but uh, this one could have been okay if, if it
I
had had
actually
a
don't
little
think
bit
like
more room to breathe and not been written quite so
the big
annoyingly.
red button.
Yeah,
Also, as a buddy cop pair, the two of them, yeah, they're different with different parts of Mandalorian, but like they're too similar to really play off each other.
right.
I think.
That's why it's not a good buddy cop system.
Yeah, yeah.
They tried
Not
it.
like
They
when
tried it a little bit with him being like an asshole to droids, and she's like, "What are you doing, man?"
it would have been different if it was like Mando and Bill Burr again. That's a
Oh
that's a pairing.
yeah, that's a pairing.
Yeah. And I don't even like Bill Burr.
Don't call us separatists. We're communists.
Count Dooku was right.
Sure.
He listens to Space Alex Jones.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he records the Space Alex Jones shows. Oh boy, a Queen of Hearts croquet game.
Yeah, I don't like how that croquet mat looks. It's just too un-Star Warsy.
Yeah, it's just fucking a strip of astroturf and then some
And then
bullshit
Grogu
goes
helps
on.
her cheat.
Yeah, he's cheating at games. Is that the dark side of the Force? If you're cheating at a game,
He only likes her because she gave him food.
that's consistent though with his character.
Yeah, I guess.
So what the fuck was
Maybe they'll
Christopher Lloyd's
reveal.
plan? And when he was threatening to hit the
Yeah,
big red button, I would have been like, okay, what do you want us to do then? To not hit that button? Ah, I've written myself into my corner here. You better shoot me quick.
wow, it's really true that as you age, your ears get bigger.
Yeah, they just kind of
Because
expand
he's very
downward.
old.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's still kicking, but he's very old.
yeah. I like that he keeps showing up in things. Like I don't think he did
Yeah,
a bad job here. He just had his character was written like shit.
this is quite the year for old actors doing stuff. As this is being recorded, we saw Indiana Jones olding around.
Mm, yeah, he's still holding it up.
Do you want to watch The Crystal Skull with me? Because I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters.
Oh god, I don't think I have either. In fact, I'm sure I haven't.
Like I've seen all the other ones many
I
times,
could
obviously.
I could watch it. Whoa, there's like a really big long-legged alien in the background there. I didn't notice before.
It looks like a Hanar from Mass Effect.
I was just gonna say it looks like a Mass Effect alien.
Yeah.
I think maybe those are a little thicker, but still, it's yeah, it's like that. But that's what I like about these scenes is that there's actually a lot going on visually to be looking at. Everything else tends to feel like there's not enough going on, so it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like there's actually people living here. What the fuck is there an actual sword doing in Star Wars?
No, they vibroblades are quite common.
This is just a fucking medieval ass chrome sword.
What do you think they had before they had vibroblades and lightsabers?
I don't know. I don't. I didn't expect
They've
that
had
though.
spears before.
They have spears
Last
now. We
season,
literally saw spears in the previous
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Now, what I hate about this is you can see how wildly their fucking tube car is whipping around, and there's no effect at all on the passengers, even though they were definitely being affected by G forces previously.
Now we're back from this side quest to
Yep,
the
it's
main story.
all over. Knight Grogu. So remember, you can't just say Grogu anymore. You have to say Sir Grogu, or it's an insult.
He's a knight. I mean, he's pretty. He's gonna outpace Anakin and be a master before you know it.
Anakin would be so pissed off to learn he's been knighted.
Yep.
So I kind
This
of
doesn't
I
look
kind
right to
of like
me.
this encampment, but it also still isn't right. Like they have a lot of gear and equipment, but they live here. Like where do they fucking sleep? Where do they go pee?
One of those big capital ships that they have in the background, like the big dude,
I
right?
guess they might just live in the ship. I guess that's quite possible.
Also, where did the Mandalorians on Dinosaur Planet live? In the cave?
God, well, I mean, I
Do
was
they have a
constantly
ship that
harping
brought
on
them?
that. Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learned in the last episode they actually definitely don't have any ships. They're just there in a cave with a forge, nothing else, doing absolute bullshit all day.
Maybe they have a friend with a pickup truck that they called and they're gonna radio with them when it's time to leave. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, that must be how they got there.
Now, this whole scene's supposed to feel impactful and important. And the fight's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool fight, but like this character sucks. This wolf, whoever,
Axe his name is Axe
Axe
Wolves.
Wolf, Axe Wolves, right?
Yeah.
Is this like an honor thing that he wasn't like, let me grab my
Yeah.
helmet before fighting you, and also that they're not using blasters? Is this written into their dueling system that they can use rockets but not blasters?
Yes. It's whatever the rules are very inconsistent.
Well, unless you never say what the rules are, then you can just pretend it's consistent because they
Yeah,
never
they're just
said.
really
Who
complicated.
knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an intricate dance of rules happening that we just don't know about. It's a yes or no question, motherfucker. What a jerk.
Yeah, like stealing that spaceship really went to his head.
Yeah. I find it weird
I mean,
that
if I had a spaceship,
all of their armor looks so similar. Although I get that there's going to be like an obvious, easy visual tell when they're blending in with the other Mandalorians. Like you'll easily be able to tell who's on which part of the Mando team.
there's gonna be like a Mando Civil War coming, right?
No, there was already like a Mando civil war. This is the result. Now they're all
I mean, they've had a
split.
bunch. Yeah. Oh, they've had several we've seen on screen and more that we haven't seen on screen.
Right.
Basically, every show has had a Mandalorian Civil War in it. Clone Wars had it. Rebels had it. Now this show has it.
And now, finally, I give this Mando civil war to you.
There's nothing a Mando hates in another Mando. What's the Willie quote?
uh, hey, everyone watching this show has already thought about this, and apparently I already knew it too. But you know what? This belongs to her. I've just been carrying it around for no reason so I could have this dramatic moment in front of everyone else. Even though I thought it belonged to her.
We haven't even seen Pedro Pascal's face this season, right? He's just done all nothing but voice dubs.
Huh. I think you're right.
I mean, that's part of the whole point that he hasn't taken his helmet off since last
I know,
season,
but
hence this whole drama.
yeah. I
It
mean,
makes
that's
sense because
true.
they were
He's
probably
not.
shooting Last of Us during this.
Yeah. And he's not a. He doesn't have a big ship anymore where he can be flying around in a ship with Grogu in a different room. So now he's always stuck
Yeah.
where Grogu can see him, so he can't take his helmet off at all. Yeah.
His Bo-Katan's haircut also helmet shaped.
It's practical. Makes sense. Mechanical thrum.
But this scene is actually a reference to a scene in Rebels where
Oh.
she did this way more enthusiastically.
Oh. And now, is it impactful because she's not enthusiastic? Or
Yeah,
is it just
yeah.
the way
It's
it looks?
it doesn't feel right.
Ah.
How likely do you think it will be that I could get Bryce Dallas Howard to go out with me?
Where's she live?
Hollywood, and I think she's married.
I'm gonna say it's not likely. But I'm
But I
not
might
gonna
run into
say
her
it's
at the mall.
impossible. There's a non-zero
Yeah,
chance.
yeah.
Mercedes Bernardo. That's a cool name. Jack
That's not a
Black.
real
That's a
name.
cool name. Lizzo. No one's named Lizzo. Wait. Yes, there is.
She has the most Star Wars name of anyone.
They didn't need to rename her.
Like that would be one of the Trandoshans. Lizzo.
Oh no, that is what they would do.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Jerko Lizzo. The transition.
So, two more episodes left. Are we going to see cameos of people from the upcoming Ahsoka show, you think? We going to see any
No,
more famous big characters akin to the Luke appearance last season? We haven't seen
no,
no Boba Fett. Yeah.
no. I mean, they've gone off to do their own things. They only showed up to be able to go off and do their own shows. So I don't expect them to show up
When
here
apparently
again.
all these shows that are set in the same era, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, the Skeleton Crew show coming up, they're
Oh
all the
yeah,
same years.
yeah.
They're going to culminate in a big movie.
Hey, remember?
Unclear if it's
Remember when? I guess it was Netflix when they had Daredevil and Luke Cage and all those shows, and then they culminated that with a show where they were all together.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
Was this going to
that was
be a
pretty good,
movie? They
right?
said I don't I couldn't I gave up in like the second season of Daredevil, and I saw like two seasons of Daredevil, two seasons of Jessica Jones, and I was
Oh,
done.
sorry. Well, you
Like I
probably could
know
tell where I was going with that. It actually sucked.
yeah,
It
yeah.
sucked a lot. It was stupid.
Now, but this is movie. Is it going to be a theater movie? That'd be bizarre, right?
Oh, that,
Like
oh, that would be insane. There's no way it's a theater movie.
it's going to be app movie.
I mean, like
Uh,
it has to be, right? It
I
doesn't
don't
make
know because
sense
they
that
announced
they.
it with other theatrical movies.
Oh, that's so weird. I mean, it's really hard to
Yeah.
tell what they're actually doing with Star Wars movies these days because uh, the future isn't really written with if they're actually going to happen, for one thing, or if they
Yeah.
will be massively recut and reshot and have a different director try to finish the movie. You know, little
Well, I
things
think
like
they've
that.
learned from some of those events, and
I,
yeah,
I don't know what they're fucking learning from these events. It seems like nothing. It seems like absolutely nothing.
but they're doing it the way George Lucas does: pretend there's a plan, but not really have one. That's what George would do.
WWGD. That's right.
Yeah. Well, that was this week.
That was this week. How long until they realize that they are actually gonna just resettle Mandalore because it's actually habitable?
Yeah, they kind of glossed over that.
Yeah, they
Um,
kind of did. I mean, like, seems
oh,
pretty
is that when we're
important.
going to see the Mythosaur? Like Bo-Katan's going to ride it and become
I mean,
Queen of Mandalore?
of course they're going back. That's why they're so studiously avoiding the obvious that, like, hey, actually,
Yeah.
it's not fucking poison, you guys. No one wants to live there. You want to? You sure you want to go live on this other planet
Do you know who
instead?
fought in
Weird.
the Siege of Mandalore against Darth Maul? Ahsoka.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I
Her and
mean, it's.
Bo-Katan
Oh,
have a lot
speaking of
of back
Ahsoka,
and forth.
her trailer dropped today, right? That was today.
Yeah, I thought it looked really
It
good.
does look good.
Very rebelsy.
Yeah, it looks nice. I hope it's good. A pretty strong indicator of that will be if it doesn't have a bunch of fucking people from other shows showing up in it. And
Yeah, it's all just people.
I don't mean references to like characters
Yeah, yeah.
from the cartoons that they're bringing in for the show because
Yeah.
those actually do make sense.
So next week, so there's 2 episodes left.
Yeah, I think.
Is there going to be another episode where they try to recruit other Mandalorians and then the big finale episode, or like, what do you think? Are these the
What
only
other
Mandalorians they're
Mandalorians
going to
are there?
recruit?
They haven't mentioned any others,
Well,
so I think this is going to be
well,
it.
remember there was potentially some Mandalorians involved in kidnapping Gideon,
They did hint
and
at
was that
that.
was that Axe Wolf body sprays
Axe Body
Mandalorians?
Wolf.
Was it the Armorers Mandalorians, or is it
It
because
can't
there are
be the
several
armor's
tribes?
Mandalorians unless there's like a huge
That's
fucking
where their
lie
ship
going
was.
on. Yeah, it's like, oh, we have
That
no ships except for that one ship where all of our people are doing nefarious things.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are we going to see Carl Weathers again?
that would be kind of a good twist, except also hugely annoying for them not being like, how the fuck did you get to this planet with no ship? Oh, you do have a ship.
Wait,
Okay,
are
I'm
we
just
gonna
an idiot.
like 2 episodes left? More? Do we see Carl Weathers again? Do we see Evil Empire Lady again, or is she just a setup for the other
The
shows?
show's all over the place. There's literally no way of predicting what they'll
This
feel like
feels
doing.
exactly like Iron Man 2, where
Oh
at the
no.
expense of the movie, they were setting up a bunch of other stuff.
It was such a fucking boring movie.
Yeah,
I do think we'll see Buff Imperial Lady again.
yeah,
I don't know what else she could possibly have left to do other than whenever we see Moff Gideon again, she'll just be there.
yeah.
Maybe that.
Well, all right, then we should
Well,
just
fun.
keep waiting. We'll break for 20 minutes and come back and talk about Picard episode that we watched. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God. Okay. All right. That's it. Enough. Bye, Mark.
Yep. Bye.